Nepal, the land of Mount Everest and the Himalayas. Thus, people often think of it. But under the shadow of the Himalayas, distinct even from space, there lies a strip of plain land in the south. It's called Madhesh, or Terai. It is home to 12 million Madheshis, the native and indigenous people of Madhesh. On this land lay the ancient kingdom of Janaka, with its capital at the current town of Janakpur. On this very land was Buddha born, some 2,500 years ago in Lumbini, and here lay his kingdom. Then this land was called Majim Desa in Pali, or Madhesh in Sanskrit. Throughout history, this land was ruled by great dynasties and kings, including Emperor Ashoka and King Salhas.
ये मंदिर पौराणिक काल के ऐतिहासिक मंदिर छे। ये ऐतिहासिक मंदिर देनाराम भद्री और राजा सलहेश जे चले पौराणिक काल के ओकर दोस्त छे, और ओकरे दोस्ती के हिसाब से एकर जैसे पौराणिक काल में बहुत शक्ति रहे। एक शक्तिशाली मंदिर छे, शक्तिशाली देवता के रूप में एकटा पूजन कयल जाय छे।
Over time, this land came under the influence of the Mughals and the British. Still, the Sen kings of Madhesh continued to rule it as suzerainty states. But later, the British handed over the regions of Madhesh to the Gurkhas, the ruling class from the north. In 1816, the British handed over the eastern part of Madhesh to the Gurkhas to support them in their financial destitution. The British handed over the western part of Madhesh to the Gurkhas in 1860 as a gift for their support to the East India Company in suppressing the Sepoy Mutiny in India in the late 1850s. Thus, Madhesh finally came under Nepal and the Gurkhas. But in the Anglo-Gurkha War of 1814 through 1816, Madheshis had fought against the Gurkhas. So Madheshis were much like prisoners of war in the eyes of the Gurkhas. So in the Treaty of December 8th, 1816, through which the British handed over the Madheshis and their lands to Nepal, they set a condition that the King of Nepal would not take revenge against the Madheshis. But would it save Madheshis? As soon as the Gurkhas controlled Madhesh, they dismissed the existing armies of the Madheshis and virtually banned them from entering the army. And they started to rule Madhesh as a colony, bringing the colonial armies and the administrators from the north. The ruling class started awarding lands in the south as grants and rewards to loyal subjects and landlords from the north. They started settling northern people, or Pahadis, in the south through several programs funded by the Israeli government and other agencies. In the 1950s, a huge migration from the north took place in Madhesh. They settled even several towns in Madhesh, like Itahadi. Madhesh had remained mostly as a separate entity until the 1950s. Madheshis required a visa even to enter Kathmandu, even until 1958. But the ruling class from the north soon imposed a one country, one dress, one language policy. One had to wear a cap of the ruling class, even to get citizenship. They also made Nepali language, the language of the ruling class, as a criterion for citizenship, a language that Madheshis didn't speak and didn't understand. They regarded the Madheshis as second-class citizens. Millions of Madheshis were denied citizenship. The Supreme Court even annulled citizenship of thousands of Madheshis, making them non-citizens. The Supreme Court also banned the use of Madheshi languages in Madhesh for administration. and the government continued to grab land from the Madeshis and then distributed it to the ruling class Pahadis. This caused many Madeshis to be landless and displaced indigenous communities from Madhesh. The indigenous communities, like Rajbanshis in Japa and Tharus in Chitwan, were displaced by the ruling class migrants from the north. Today, many indigenous communities of Madhesh have vanished. Those who remained lived a life of hardship as landless or became bonded laborers who for generations lived as slaves under the ruling class landlords.
हमने सरकार 2057 साल में मुक्त कैल है ओकर पाछे ई सरकार जत्रफ है कमायन है कुछ राहत दिल ओकर पाछे बाकी कमायन है पुलिस स्थापना नहीं कर सकल कर से हम ई जगह से ये हम है सरकार के जो सरकारी जगह हुई लग से नहीं कब्जा कैला कर से यहाँ हम भी कब्जा कैली तब पर फैन अभी हमार सरकार जो है कान में तेल डाल देसन सुबाइल बाबी कोनो सुनवाई नहीं हो उनके कहीं पर 3.5 कट्ठा बेके भाग दबाए
उतनी में कमा के
हाँ उतने में कमाना खाना बस गुजारा
घर या सब
नहीं बा 800 रुपये कुछ नहीं बा कि अब लम्ही जाए पड़ला मजूरी यहाँ से 5-6 किलोमीटर ज़्यादा डायरी
गुजारा कहाँ चली गरीब मनन के पर दुखबा का अब अटचे लड़का फिन बता लड़का खाना हो अपने खाना हो
Many Madeshis are landless.
मजलम को मंजा बाबा जी मेरे कमें भी दिखाए ना माने इनसे सबसे पूछ लो मेरी जिंदगी में लेकिन मैं जगह बना डाल रहा हूँ ऐसे 1.5 बीघा जमीन रहा है अब नदियाँ कटाई दी हजूर मैं कहाँ जाऊँ अब हमें अनिवार्य चाहिए अब सरकार हमें लेकिन देखते नहीं है आँखी में जब चिंता नहीं है कौन पीड़ित है कौन ना तो ठीक है पीड़ित पहचान के दे हमें
ये बात
हमें पीड़ित पहचान के दे ना
परिचय करे थे
हमें उसे मत दे पीड़ित कौन पीड़ित है कौन पीड़ित है उनके दे जान के दे पहचान के दे
पीड़ित है मार दे बैठे पर
हमें तो खाए रहे साल भर ही को हमरो कुछ भी ना करो जोन जोन घर में बैठे दुख हमें कहा तो चाहिए पे तो घर में आनंद बैठे हैं उन्हें कैसे चाहिए जोन दुख उठाए उबाय तो खाए वो हम दुख उठाए रहे ही ना हमें कुछ ना मिल रहा है जोन दुख ना उठाए रहो मंजा से बैठे ढुक के
नंदी वैसी रहेगा 1 कट्ठा रहेगा तो हमारे घर बास सब हमरो चल गए अब हम कहाँ जाएं कैसे भैया हमारो बिस्तर लगाओ जो हम बैठे जाओ ना हमारे बिस्तर लगा हम तो चल जाए हमें तुम बा करते हो शिविर हमारे ने खाना पीने हम कहाँ से बच्चा है
Every year, the government distributes land to the ruling class people from the north and settles them in Madhesh. But the landless Madeshis barely ever get anything from the government. They work days and nights in the landlord's fields for bare food. But many times, they are not so fortunate even to get that work.
गरीब आदमी भी धान कटली खुली रोपली खुली ये काम
धिया पुता क्या
सब तो हम अकेला ही
अकेले था खेत छ कि नहीं छ
जाना है ना मांग को पड़िया के यहाँ पड़ के बा खाद साँझ में फिर दोसर में खा ले अगर काम में तो कर ले दूसरा काम
Some Madeshis flock to nearby towns, expecting to earn a daily wage to feed their children. But the towns of Madhesh too do not have much to offer. The highway excluded all the major towns of Madhesh and made them isolated and dead. Once vibrant, many of them have turned dry. Once famous, the colleges here have turned into rubble. Even the existing hospitals lie ignored.
हॉस्पिटल में बहुत बहर महिला के व्यवस्था छै कुछ एमे साफ सुथर नहीं करते तो एमे केना रहते पेशेंट सब एमे बहुत पेशेंट सब पर रहल की तकलीफ छै
once hailed as the destination of the international airport, the runway here lies muddy, and no more flights operate from here. People say the government does not want any development here. It does not want Madhesh to be seen on the world map. So despite other governments' offers to develop Madhesh for tourism and international aviation, the ruling class has shown a red signal. The government has moved even the existing facilities in these towns in Madhesh to the ruling class area. With not much left, even well-qualified Madheshis can hardly find